What's up guys, it's Ray and today I have a 2-for-1 for you guys. In this video I'm going to go over how to use coffee as a medium, and also I have a little speed painting for you guys, so without further ado let's just get into it. Alright, so the first thing you're gonna need is some coffee. Obviously. The next thing I'm using is just a basic pallet. Just pretty much anything that'll hold liquid will do. I got this at Hobby Lobby for like $1.25. Next, I'm gonna be using a watercolor sponge, and if you don't have a fancy one like this, don't sweat it. Just a regular sponge will work just as perfect. And next is, oops, you're not supposed to see that, dirty towel. And the next thing is just a towel to mop up any excess water. So right here I kind of went ham with the number of brushes that I got. These are only 4 of like the whole bunch that I got in preparation for them, but you can just pretty much use any brush that you want. I ended up using just a normal size tapered watercolor brush. Alright, so step number 1, I'm just going to start sketching out the image that I want to paint, and I want to paint a realistic human skull, so you'll see me constantly like erasing and redrawing the proportions because I like to get them anatomically correct. The paper that I'm using is 125 pound watercolor paper, and you can pretty much get it at any craft store. Michael's, Hobby Lobby sells it. I got mine in one giant sheet for about $6 to $9 and just cut it up into smaller pieces. Alright, so what seemed like years of drawing and redrawing a human skull, I finally got it to where I want it to be, and now we can start painting. So I'm getting my handy dandy fancy watercolor sponge, and I'm basically just transferring the coffee to the palette. I want to start off slow and I don't want to just go too heavy, so that's why I'm using a sponge, because I can really control how much goes in the palette. Step numero dos is to start off with your base layers. A lot of people like to start off lightest and then build to dark. I, on the other hand, like to start off with my darkest and build to lightest, which is a little bit confusing with watercolor, but it's whatever you personally prefer. So this next step is for my newbies out there. Basically, if you get way too much watercolor or pigment on a place that needs to be super light, what you can do is get your brush, wipe it on a paper towel like so, and dip it in that water, but not too much. You want to flick some of that water off, you know, and just go over the area that has way too much pigment on there, and it'll scoop it right off. Alright, and now I'm just adding in the second layer. And how I'm doing that is adding one more layer to the first layer. So basically like the eyes I'm making darker, the nose I'm making darker, and the mouth I'm making darker. I'm also adding in the mid-tones on the skull. So basically everything else that's not the first layer is the mid-tones. The thing about coffee is that it's really hard to layer, like really hard to layer, because unlike watercolor, you can't just add more pigment. You have to like get it just right. So I'm gonna speed up the video right now, and you can get an idea of how many times I had to go over some of the darker parts of the painting to get them as dark as I wanted. I'm not gonna lie, I'm the most impatient person in the world, so I actually got my coffee and boiled it down to get a darker consistency than what I was working with. And I'll show you that right now.
Alright, turned it up all the way, and now we are cooking with gas. I mean, not literally, not literally, but you know. Should be done here in a bit. It looks a lot blacker than what it did. Alright, round 2. This should be a lot more concentrated than before.
And right off the bat, you can see that boiling it really darkened up the coffee. And it left a lot of little grains compared to the first round, which was really annoying because it was coming out really patchy, and it left like little rings around the eyes and the nose and the mouth, which eventually I ended up liking, but initially it kind of bothered me. So I got a top secret tip for you guys, and only use this tip if you've totally just goofed on your painting, because with watercolor you can't make it lighter once you've got it darker. So get a cotton swab, wet one side of it, and I'll show you here in a second. And here I am just with the wet side dissolving some of that pigment, and then I'm picking it up with the dry side. And trust me, this tip just works wonders. Like, it's amazing what it does. And what I'm trying to fix are the teeth. Some of the color got onto the parts that I needed to be completely white. And so after I put on the background, which I'm doing right now, and adding one more layer, I just completely went over the teeth and made it the top half of the skull and took off the jawline. Earlier in the video, I was complaining about the graininess of the coffee, but after it started drying, it left a really cool ring around some of the parts of the skull. For example, the nose and the eyes have this awesome black line around it, and I just thought that was so cool because I've never seen a medium do that. I've never seen it with watercolor or anything, and I tried to build it up a little bit more, but I couldn't replicate it, and that's just such a cool benefit of coffee. It almost makes it look antique. Alright, so I'm pretty much done with the painting, and my final thoughts on coffee are it's really cheap, it's really hard to layer, and if you do paint with coffee, I highly suggest boiling it to a really thick state, or at least a really dark state. That way you can get a really good pigment to it, and of course you could always water it down if it's too dark. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my video. You can follow me on Instagram, you can subscribe to me here on YouTube, and I'll see you next time.
Man, I am super impatient. Just boil, please. It's working. It's boiling. Go see what's going on. Da, 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 da. Look at that. It poured out here and the road is flooded. Pretty crazy. Okay, here comes the car and I don't want to record him. Okay, bye.